Howdy folks, Sam here. I do hope you're keeping well. Today's lesson, we're going to move on from playing single notes. We're going to talk about a concept called cross harp, or second position on the harmonica. Before I talk about that, I want to talk about structuring your practice time effectively. The way I like to structure my practice time, and this works for me, and I suggest you find your own routines or practice with this one, is whenever I start something, I always warm up by playing over a theoretical concept that's new to me. So that could be a scale, it could be an arpeggio, it could be like for you guys in a couple of weeks, you're going to learn how to bend notes. That's quite your sort of first hurdle. So I always start with that difficult theoretical concept that I'm trying to get over. Then I move on to new pieces of music that I've just started looking at and I can't play confidently yet, what I call new repertoire. And I'll sit on that for whatever my time is, probably about a third of my time, maybe even half of my time. And then with the last part, the time that's remaining, I like to jam and improvise and play things that I'm confident on playing. So for you guys, that might be the Beethoven's Ninth Melody we did last week, or playing those simple blues chords and just having some fun with it. And that way you get a sense of, I overcome these challenges and I'm doing something new every time I play, but I'm also having fun at the end. And I'm also, reassured that, hey, I couldn't do that, but I can still play this, and that's awesome, right? So on to today's lesson. I need to talk a little bit more about theory on the harmonica. So last week we looked at the major scale that is printed on the harmonica. So we're playing a C harmonica, presuming, and so we're playing C major. And in the first lesson, I showed you two chords in particular. The one chord, which is breathing out on the bottom three holes, and the 5 chord, which is breathing in on the bottom 3 or 4 holes. So that's C major and G major, which is the tonic and dominant of C major. I did say you guys will need to follow your music theory separately alongside these lessons. So that sort of construction of the harmonica was always supposed to go together. You were always supposed to play melodies on this side, and then to be able to accompany that with. Some players like to combine it together by playing out both corners of their mouths. So they can harmonize with themselves. But when the blues came along, the blues took that 5 chord and made it the 1 chord. So that became the home stretch. And we've looked at that in lesson 1. We made that chord our first chord. And we looked at it last time in single notes. Now, that shift to making, on a C harmonica, it will be G, the 5th. That shift to making G the root of your scale is called, in colloquial terms, is called second position or cross harp on a diatonic harmonica. What you're technically playing is G mixolydian. Don't let the big fancy music theory words scare you. They're quite simple, really, when you just read a book or watch some other YouTube lessons on music theory. But that gives the harmonica a completely different sound, and that's the blues sound that we're going for. I'm going to show you how to play that today. That is the fundamentals of a blues scale, and from there on, we're just going to be adding notes by bending notes, which we'll discuss either next week or the week after. So today, I'm going to talk about that basic blues scale without bending notes, and I'm going to give you a little melody to play along to it. Okay, so as every harmonica player will tell you in the world, the bread and butter for your blues playing is between the 2 draw and the 6 blow. And the notes we're going to put together as a basic scale like this. So we're going to go 2 draw, 3 draw, 4 blow, 4 draw, 5 draw, 6 blow. Come back, 6 blow, 5 draw, 4 draw, 4 blow, 3 draw, and then 2 draw. Now stop the video, go practice that, because that is absolute gold, even without bending notes yet. Rest for 2. Even if I try and just put a fancy rhythm on it, it still sounds awesome. How amazing is that? You're playing the blues now. So it really is worth pausing and getting those notes under your belt, even if it takes you a week, because that scale is gold. On the side of that, without bending notes, or what they call overblowing notes at this stage, I call these the wings, the notes below and the notes above that scale. So below, you've got, if we start again from 2 draw, we've got 2 blow, 1 draw, and 1 blow. Doesn't resolve the scale, obviously, but those are other notes within that scale that you can play. Quite a common turnaround is to go, which is just 2 draw, 2 blow, 1 blow, 1 draw. Play it again. And on the top side of that scale, the top octave and how you get there is a major thing for harmonica players, because it involves overblowing and overbending, which we're going to look at way down the line for overblows. But what you can do to get up there, and notes that are perfectly legitimate to play, we'll go from the 6th blow, which was the top of our little octave there, 6 draw, 7 draw, 7 blow, 8 draw, 9 draw, 9 blow. And that gives us a little sort of top section to solo over. Oof, I need to break in this harmonica a little bit more. But yeah, that you can explore that sort of section of the top octave in a sort of a G blues Mixolydian style as well. 2 more concepts I want to get down for you guys today is, 1, getting you confident with jumping holes on the diatonic harmonica, because you don't always just play, you go, you're going to have to jump across and get used to jumping over those gaps. I also want you guys to get used to hearing shuffle rhythms, so we don't just go, that's the exercise I'm going to show you in a second. We go, so there's a big difference to the way that the note feels. Again, do stop that if I'm going too fast, stop these things and break them down, and check your music theory to get a sound of what a shuffle rhythm sounds like. So we're going to do a little 12-bar blues rhythm exercise that's going to involve jumping over a note and is hopefully going to be in a shuffle. I just played the start of it there. So for the first 4 bars of a 12-bar blues, we tend to repeat ourselves. We tend to play on the 1 chord, which, as we've already discussed, is G. So we're going to start on the 2 draw. Then we're going to jump to the 4 draw, 4 blow, 3 draw, and then repeat. So it's going to go like this. And we're going to play that 4 times. So for the middle 4 bars of the blues, we're going to go to the 4 chord for 2 bars and then back to what we just played for 2 bars. So for the 4 chord, we're going to play 4 blow, jump to the 6 blow, 5 draw, 4 draw. So we're going to do that twice and then go back to the pattern I showed you already for the 1 chord. So it'll sound like this. Note that as much as possible, I'm using my hands to make the changes. My head's only moving very slightly and then comes back to a center position. Now, for the last 4 bars of the 12-bar blues, we're going to play the 5 chord, or we're going to play around the 5 chord. So we're going to go 4 draw, 6 draw, 6 blow, 7 draw, then repeat the 4 chord. So 4 blow, 6 blow, 5 draw, 4 blow, 4 draw, and then repeat our 1 chord for 2. So I'm just going to play those last 4 bars together. So there you go. So you take those 3 sections and then put them together, and you've got a 12-bar blues. Fantastic. You're not bending any notes yet, but that's fine. We'll get there. And then everything will get fun and exciting for you guys, and you'll love it. But let's just try quickly putting that all together. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And 12-bar blues. So there you go. I've gone quite quickly, as I always tend to do. I'm sorry about that. I want to keep these videos as short and as punchy as possible. But you guys, it's up to you to just stop it, get a concept down, then move on a little bit more in the video and keep going with it. And most of all, as I'm always saying, enjoy it. So hopefully next lesson, I think we're going to start looking at bending notes, which is where the fun on the harmonica begins. So have some fun with that, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care now. So we did that little blues in a sort of a shuffle style. This is what it would sound like straight, just for a sort of a funny comparison. It would go. I can't take it seriously because it sounds like something from Batman, but hopefully that gives you a sense of how important that sort of bluesy feel is. And you can hear that I'm tonguing the notes like I told you about in the last lesson to really get that accentuation in. So have some fun with that and see you guys soon.